How's it going, everybody? So we're back with another FarmerPhil episode, and this one I am going to do a little bit differently. Now it is episode 10, and obviously I don't have my camera on because my camera just died right as I was about to record. I'm super ready, but I wanted to go over a topic that I think I've already gone over before in one of my previous videos long time ago, and I think it's important to go over it again because there are new additions to the actual monster list. So what are we going over? If you didn't read the title already, we are going over how to skip steps as a beginner level player, as well as which monsters you should really focus on building, especially since you just started. And on top of that, it's really important to kind of decide what you want to build and what kind of team you want to build, because it's not only important to, look at, oh, okay, this monster's good and this monster's good, but it's also really important to realize, well, I need a team that works together. So, as a lower level player, as you already see, I'm a level 29 player. I can auto Giants B7 almost 100% now, so that's pretty awesome. And in case you are wondering what my team looks like, it's in the last episode of FarmerPhil, and it's really all about building one specific team. So I'm going to go ahead and go through how to skip steps as a beginner level player, and I'm talking about players in the range from level 1 to level 35. So let's get into it. All right, what you need to do is you need to start focusing on a team that works. All right, a lot of these dungeons, a lot of like the levels and stuff like that, they're different attributes, right? When you look at Giants B10 and it's like, oh, it's a water attribute, I want to bring wind monsters, which is exactly what I'm building. And then you look at Dragons B10 and you're like, well, it's a fire dungeon, I can't use those same units. Well, what you don't realize is you're not going to immediately be autoing Giants B10, and you're not going to be immediately autoing Dragons B10, sorry, up here. And you're not going to be immediately farming Necropolis either. So when you think about it, you're going to be sometime around when you get to Giants B10, you're going to be farming, I'd say around B6, B7, and you realize, oh, well, look, there's a Dragons B8 right here that's water, Dragons B10, or Giants B10 that's water. Let's say you end up getting a Dragons B10 team first. Well, Giants B9 is fire, same as Dragons B10. So you start looking like, oh, okay, well, maybe these same teams work on these types of floors where you can get similar attributes on the bosses, or get a team that works in both Giants and Dragons. Now, this doesn't necessarily work for Necropolis, because in fact you do need multi-hit monsters, and that's not always the best thing to bring in Dragons and Giants, different strategies. But Dragons and Giants is very similar. Dragons, for B10, you need someone to remove the buff. Same with the earlier stages, you need someone to remove from the boss. Well, Giants, it's always good to bring someone that removes, and I'm talking, of course, about Belladon. Now, of course, Belladon is not, easy to obtain, but it's a great monster, and when you do obtain it, you will see a significant increase in your gameplay. So, looking at the monsters that you really need to focus on building, this is a team that I've been suggesting for a while now, and I've had a few people follow the advice and have come back to me saying like, oh my gosh, this has been incredibly helpful. And I just got reminded about it earlier, not today, but yesterday night, just before New Year's Eve. It was a new streamer to the Summoners War community. He's played other games, has like 70,000 followers or something ridiculous like that on Twitch, and his name is Brandon505, I believe. But Brandon, this one's specifically for you as well. It's about building a team that works in every single stage of the map as you start out, because you don't have the monsters to really throw and mix and match teams. Even when you start doing, summons, like crazy amount of summons, you've got multiple natural 5-stars. The natural 5-stars work in their designated areas, like the water dragon that I have as well is mostly for TOA. He's really mostly for TOA. And then you get stuff like the occult girls. Well, they have their uses, sure. They're not as great in dungeons, in my opinion. So this is something that everyone should look towards building, and that is the specific 5-man team that you can use from level 1 to level 40 until you start getting more, monsters and units to work with. And once you get that 5-man team that you can use pretty much everywhere, you will realize that, well, if I just super power up these 5 units and try, just leave everything else, just put it off to the side for now, and just super power up all these units, these 5 units, my team will become significantly stronger and strong enough to farm higher dungeons to get higher level runes. So on top of that, not only are you improving immensely, you're also getting better stuff to, use on the units that you have put off to the side for now. So you may think, okay, well, I've got these 5 units I'm focusing on, and I'm missing out on all these other opportunities that I have to the side. Like maybe you got some natural 5-star summons. Well, not exactly. Those units are not going to be useful until you get the summons for them, especially natural 5-stars. And it's really, really important that you realize this. So let's go down to the natural 5-star list and just kind of, think about this. Let's say you summon like a Chiwu or a Brandia or even something like a Desert Queen, It's like you look at these monsters and you think it's a natural 5-star, it's going to be good everywhere. Well, no, not exactly. You need to look at the monster, its skills, and you need to think, what is the main purpose of this monster? You look at Vanessa, it's like, well, it's a reviver. Well, the revive seems kind of weak, but at the same time, it's got a really, really great leader skill for arena. Okay, well, this is a leader skill that's based for arena. It's got some defense break, and it's got, a pretty weak revive that you need to have really good speed synchronization in your team to make sure you heal right after. Okay, well, Vanessa's an arena monster. Now you see that. Now, of course, not all people might see it at an early level, but you try to look, and you look at the skills, and you're like, all right, well, this is a monster I shouldn't be using for dungeons. You look at Zyros, and you're like, well, this is incredible, but you might need to focus more on your single target units. Like, say if you summon Perna, fantastic, amazing unit for dungeons. If you got Rakan, great unit, because he's a bruiser. He's a really tanky damage dealer that you can use in dungeons. But you summon stuff like AoE damage and whatnot, while it can be good in like secret dungeons, TOA, arena, and other stuff like that, you really want to look towards units that will be able to survive, will be able to really help you with single target damage against bosses. Now, I'm not saying Zyros isn't good for dungeons. I'm saying he's a great monster in general, but he's got so many other good uses that you might need to look at other options to survive longer, like Perna, just because he's got the revive, Rakan, just because he's got the, tanky damage dealing. Now, of course, I'm just talking about these natural 5-stars for the people that have them. If you don't have them, then you're not in that boat. You don't need to worry about it. It's just one less thing you need to worry about, and it's good. I've got a Ring, natural 4-star, doing wonders. She's got a self-healing skill on the second one because she does heal almost fully from the damage, because mine does around 15k from it, or like 10 to 15k, and mine's only running about, 12,400, 12,300-ish, more or less, math major skills. And the thing is, you really want to look at units, building them tanky enough to survive in the dungeons, as well as dealing damage. And then you look at your other units, and you notice that I've built a buff type support monster. So you notice Shannon's support. She's able to lay down, a nice third skill to keep your units alive, attack power and defense buff. That really, really helps. Shannon is a great unit. I really suggest you build it. And then she can slow down the enemies and the bosses, and it's just absolutely fantastic on Despair Runes. It's extra CC stuff. And Glancing Hit, which helps incredibly in Giants, especially in Giants B7. And then you look, all right, well, what else am I running? Well, I'm running Healer. That's not even max leveled yet. Well, what if I don't have Belladon? What if I have not been able to farm it? Well, that's what I had the Wind Yeti built up for. The Wind Yeti has a awesome third skill. It's really great for lower levels because you might not have that much HP, and it's in proportion to the amount of surviving allies. So in stuff like, let's say, like Magic Hall, it's 5 units. Anywhere in Kairos Dungeon, 5 units. That's going to be significantly greater than if you brought it in Arena with 4 units. So that's where you think about it. All right, well, where can I use them? And it's mostly in dungeons, and that's mostly where you should focus on. So if you don't have Belladon, the Wind Yeti is a great replacement. Now, I know I said I was going to go through every unit, but I think I'm not going to go through every single unit because it's kind of up to interpretation and your team. You should go check out my earliest video about, which units to do, like 2-star and 3-star units that are really good. The only addition I would say to this list would honestly be the Wind Penguin Knight, and he is just absolutely a fantastic monster. Absolutely amazing. So if you guys get the chance to build him, I highly suggest it. The only thing with the Penguin Knight is he's mostly a TOA monster, so when you start going into like TOA and TOA hard mode, then you can start focusing on him, but it's just, he's got a very, very nice skill set for TOA, and I would say I would not suggest building him in place of Bernard, just because Bernard has a really nice second skill, especially with that attack break, and it's so fantastic. I can't express how great Bernard is. So I would suggest really looking at Bernard if you really need that. Another revive that you could look towards if you don't have Tion, maybe you fought her away early, is actually Michelle. She's okay. I would not suggest 6-starring her, but she's great to have at a lower level. Now you shouldn't need a revive. You look at my team and I'm like, alright, well, I'm running 5 units, these 5 units right here with Tion as revive, but eventually you shouldn't need revive, and eventually I'm going to be running something different. Instead of Tion, I'm going to be running Bernard, and that's when I fully max him and I fully max Belladine, because then I'll be able to support myself that I won't die, because right now I don't have enough heal to keep myself alive. So look at your units, realize, alright, this is what I need, this is what I need to work on, and you need to have sustainability over damage when you start out. This is how you cut corners and you push yourself up higher in Kairos dungeons than you should be. That's why I'm lower than level 30 and I'm farming Giants B7. And the reason is because I put a very sustainable team that can tank the damage hits and take down the bosses, the HP of the boss a little bit slowly, but enough, enough to do the job. And that is how you clear the dungeons as a lower level player. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting there farming up really crap runes from Giants B4, Giants B5, or whatever, and you're not going to be getting much improvement, and it's going to take you a month longer, maybe more. So, my suggestion to you, focus on sustainability. You should look at Shannon, you should look at Belladine. Kona Maya is a great unit to build. Kona Maya brings such a great skill set for dungeons for you to have on your team, especially with the cleanse. Because the cleanse is huge. Let's say you get defense break on you, or maybe the boss slows you down. That is immense. That can really hurt you, because then maybe you take an extra hit that you shouldn't have taken and you lose your unit and you don't have a revive. Well, now you just lost your damage dealer, or etc, etc. So having a cleanse is great to have, and you don't have Veramos yet. Kona Maya, great replacement, and he is 6-star worthy for raids and other places of the game. So I would definitely suggest having him ready and having him max skilled, which is what I have him now, max skilled, ready to go. So very suggested monster, I would say now, especially with raids. So definitely look at him. Belladine, just try to get him if you don't have him. It's kind of hard to farm him. Wind Yeti, great replacement to just, for the meantime, I wouldn't say 5-star or even 6-star worthy, just enough to keep you going by to farm higher up in dungeons. And this isn't just with Giants and Dragons, this is with every single one of these halls. Okay? The water hall, a little bit more rough, but let's say, oh, I'm not dealing enough damage to the boss and he's killing me. Okay, well think about this. What if you survive? And what if you slowly take down his HP? Sure, it maybe takes a little bit longer, but you're surviving, right? And that's just the thing. Survivability over damage when you start out. That is the main thing you guys should get out of this video. How to cut corners is survive. Survive as long as you can and just deal damage enough to get you by to take down the boss. Then focus on damage. Then focus on the speed of your teams. Okay? And one last thing, to anybody watching, if you're looking at this and you're like, well, I don't have a Rang. Well, a Rang's a replaceable unit. She's fusible, a farmable, fusible monster. And she's pretty easy to obtain, so you can replace her with any type of self-sustaining type monster, or just a monster that has a high base HP or high base defense or something to keep you alive. And one of these monsters that you can use for the time being is in fact the Water Magic Knight. Yes, the Water Magic Knight. The skill set is okay, the damage is not that great. I would not suggest 6-starring him, but it's enough to get you by, to do damage, to heal block, in certain dungeons, and I'll probably end up 6-starring him just because I'm on a farmable account. You guys, I would not suggest it because you guys got the summons, but I don't. I can't use any summons for this account, okay? And one last thing before I leave you guys, just to do your own thing. The units that I use in these videos are in no means the only ones that you guys should be using. When I look at these units and I think of teams, I am doing a completely farmable team, alright? So that's what it means, FarmerPhil. I am only using farmable units. And that's why I'm still unsure if I'm going to be using Veramos or not, because the units to fuse him are not farmable. Kia, the fire succubus or whatever, the one with big boobs, and then the wind vamp, those are not farmable because you can't get the units farmed up to fuse them. So that's why I'm looking at this and I'm like, alright, maybe I won't fuse Veramos, and that's why I'm building up Konamaya. But that's okay. That's okay. I just want to show you guys. And eventually I'll probably end up building Veramos anyways, just to show you teams with him, because everyone ends up getting him anyways. But the thing is, you can replace the units with your own units on my team. You look at Shannon. Shannon, it's kind of hard to replace so much, but like Megan and other stuff like that, just something to keep you alive a little bit longer and, you know, apply attack buff, stuff like that. Chasun can replace Shannon in here. Of course, it's not, you know, the same skill set, but great heal, great attack buff, and she's got glancing hit on first. Pretty similar, you know? Let's talk about a ring. You know, any damage dealer that can survive and has a certain type of attribute, that's the type of dungeon you should be going against. So I have a wind attribute. I'm focusing on wind-based dungeons and water-based dungeons that I face. So Giant Speed 7 is dark. I still have a neutral advantage. I'm not going to be going into a fire dungeon with a ring. But also, next one, Revive. Briand, Michelle. You can even look at, you know, some natural 5 stars that revive if you really want to, if you summon them. Let's say you haven't summoned any of them, including Briand, you know, none of them. Well, you've got Tion here, and one of the other options that I haven't talked about yet, and I think is an option that I'm going to be doing because she's got really great skill set, better than Tion. That's right, the Water Undyne. The Water Undyne has a really nice skill set that I'm going to be doing, 100% crit, extra CC damage and stuff like that. If you guys don't know what CC means, it's crowd control, stuff like freeze, stun, sleep, etc. And it's a great skill set to have. Of course, Tion has his on his first skill. There's a small chance to stun, but, you know, it's better chance with the Water Undyne, and she's got a 40% heal, you know, compared to his 20%, right? Is it right? No, it's... Oh, no, I think it's like a 15 or 25% revive or something like that, but it heals by 20%. Okay. So that's something new I learned today. So what you guys should really look for is running like a support monster, a damage dealer, a revive, a healer, and then a last support monster that you should be using. It could be Veramos, it could be Konamaya, it could be another healer like Chasun, just something to help you survive longer in the dungeons, as well as being able to lay down the damage on the boss to clear the stage. And that, my friends, is how you cut corners as a beginner. You know, you can watch all these videos about, we'll do this, this, and this, and this, or summon this, and blah, blah, blah. No, just build this specific team. Build a team of 5 units that you can use everywhere in the game as you start, and you will start being able to focus on those 5 units and those 5 units alone. Supercharge up those runes. You notice, like, these runes I've got, they're all plus 12 or higher, okay? Except for this one, because that's a legendary rune. But they're all going to be up in the orange color, right? Because they're plus 12 or higher. That is how you supercharge runes. And I'm still replacing runes. I'm trying to get rid of all my 4-star runes. And a lot of them have good substats too. I've been farming like crazy. So, if you guys are wondering, that is how. There is no other easy way except to spend money. If you guys are wondering how to really push forward into the game, even with money, okay? Just focus on a few units, get them supercharged up, and I promise you, you will see a huge improvement in your game. And don't just focus on units because they look cool. You need to go for the core units of your team. If you guys don't know what the core units are, I also have a FarmerPhil episode on that, so check out the playlist. I'll leave a link in the description below. Stay tuned for that as well as the next episode, because I'm going to do something a little bit new in the next episode. So hopefully you guys got a little bit of help from this. I'm really trying to address some issues here that I've seen from a little bit of fewer or lower level players, and it kind of just reminded me when I saw Brandon streaming of some teams that, you know, like, okay, well, when you start out on the game, you don't understand really how the teams work and what you really need to look for in a team before you try to put out damage. So this should help him as well as help all of you other guys out there if you guys are struggling a little bit. And this is how I am able to auto Giants B7 as a level 29. Okay, my goal is to auto Giants B10 by the time I reach level 35. I should be able to do it. Seems like an easy task, honestly. I just need to get a little bit more HP and maybe 6-star 1 or 2 monsters, which is no easy task, but of course I'm getting a lot of Angelmon here. Really, oh, sorry, God, I keep doing that. Rainbowmon, God, Philip. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hopefully this helped you out. I will see you guys in the next episode. Stay tuned. If you guys enjoyed the video or got help from it, please leave a like. It helps me know you guys appreciate it. And as always, you feel free to subscribe. Up to you. I'm doing a giveaway at 15,000 subscribers. I'm going to keep announcing this until we hit 14,000. Then I will do a full announcement video. Going to be pretty huge, you know, even with the t-shirts, you know, it's and a little sneak peek. I'm going to be doing an account giveaway with the natural 5-star monster, top tier natural 5-star monster. So stay tuned.